Good day everyone, this is day 15 of the 28-day adventure, and today what I'd like to do is just to be able to share some fun facts about what I've learned from online Goreans. So I think you'll find these amusing. One, the fact that I did not come from online, have not logged in hundreds of thousands of hours role-playing online, and nobody there knows me, so I must not be Gorean. It's one of the things with online Goreans, they've got their own little online club kind of thing. Very few have actually met others, but the fact that they actually believe that in order to quantify and validate you being Gorean is the fact that they need to approve you and that you need to basically come from online. Absolute nonsense. Two, I am too involved in organizing and running successful kink-related events and educational seminars, so I must not be Gorean. Again, over the years I've been involved in running numerous successful play parties, dozens of seminars, workshops, safety related, those kind of things, and so the fact that kink is involved, obviously I'm not Gorean, because the online Goreans, for the most part, many of them actually have this mythology and belief that you cannot be kinky and be Gorean, is that you basically have to be for lack of better words, a dead fuck. Sorry guys, that's not me. Three, I am an ally to the LGBTQ community, even as a board member for a couple of board of directors, so I must not be Gorean. Again, you'll find that many Goreans, and the online Goreans anyway, and this comes right from Silk and Steel, is the fact that one of the things that they try to incorporate in the philosophy is about the sexuality and the fact that, you know, it is straight heterosexual and that's it. You cannot be bisexual, you cannot be anything else. And anyone that relates or is an ally to those causes obviously is not Gorean. Again, bunch of BS. Four, that I have the Triskelion embedded in my homestone banner, so I must not be Gorean. Again, relating to the fact that the online Goreans believe that you cannot be kinky and be Gorean, that you must be a dead fuck. Again, with me, I don't have an issue. Triskelions right on my homestone. It's part of the homestone website, and I don't have an issue with that. Some other people do. Well, they're not a part of my homestone. Enough said. That I am a Leatherman, so I must not be Gorean. Again, this is right back from Silk and Steel, usually from Nair and Bear of Air. They seem to be really big, is that you cannot be this and be this at the same time. It's impossible. Well, sucks to be you, but you can. You know, is to be a Leatherman has nothing to do with being Gorean from the aspect that it goes against what the philosophies are. In fact, it actually complements what the philosophies are talking about as far as honor, about having family, as far as being involved in your community, as far as taking a stand, as far as being out in the open, that you're not ashamed, that you're not embarrassed to who you are. Meanwhile, a lot of online Goreans is that, again, you don't know their name, they don't have any pictures of themselves, they live in Antarctica. Same cannot be true to them. Okay. I am openly kinky, so I must not be Gorean. Again, I make no puns about it that I am kinky. I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm not ashamed about it. There's nothing wrong about it. It's not breaking any laws. It's just who I am. Other people, they're not that way. They don't need to be. But for them to be able to say that I cannot be because they're not, again, not very Gorean and just a bunch of BS. I am associated with the 1% Club as well as liaison with the Waterloo Regional Police Services, so I must not be Gorean. Again, of course you can. You know, you can be associated with whoever you want to be associated with, and it does not necessarily minimize or basically exempts you from being Gorean. Again, as a spiritual advisor to some 1% clubs, as well as being a liaison for the Waterloo Regional Police, puts me in a very unique position that very few people are able to be in. So I don't have an issue with that at all. I have spoken openly in sexual orientation that has nothing to do with being Gorean, so I must not be Gorean. Again, I remember a few years ago there was a few from the Silk and Steel crowd were really getting on this whole heterosexual, straight Gorean, basically tantrum is what they were on. And I just made up a brief list, took me about 5 minutes to put together, of how many Goreans had bisexual slaves, or were bisexual themselves, or were heteroflexible, or whatever. Different sexual orientation statuses on FetLife, basically to put that to shame. And that pissed them off big time, because they didn't want to hear about that. It's one thing for them to be able to tell everybody else to do, but don't point the finger at them when it's actually on their profile, because that's just, you're outing them, because you're actually mentioning what they've already said is on their profile. Bunch of BS again. Okay, I have not joined any dead or non-active groups based on the amount of groups that are Gorean, so I must not be Gorean. Again, this was a big thing that Malkinius had going on for a while there, trying to prove how much more Gorean he was compared to me. And it basically boiled down that he went through my profile, broke down the percentages of Gorean versus non-Gorean groups that I was involved in to try to prove that I'm not Gorean. At the same time, if you take a look at his profile, he's on literally dozens of groups that are not Gorean, and the fact that also I belong to like 3 groups that were Gorean, so that obviously proves that I'm not Gorean. Meanwhile, he was involved in numerous groups. In fact, usually each group he joins or that he becomes a leader of ends up dying out really fast. So to be Gorean, you don't need to prove how many dead groups that you join. That has nothing to do with being Gorean at all. It just proves that you don't have anything better to do with your time. So again, bunch of BS. I refused to quit being kinky for a year when demanded to prove my Goreanness, so I must not be Gorean. Again, another one that Malkinius tried throwing at one time is that, in order for you to be able to prove to us that Silk and Steel that you are Gorean, we want you to quit being kinky for an entire year. And then that will show that you're a real man and that you're in control of yourself, and the fact that you have ownership over your own place and you can do whatever you want. But you must do it we say. Again, a bunch of BS, and I basically told him to go fuck himself. I keep most people associated with Silk and Steel at arm's length in other online venues such as Second Life, so I must not be Gorean. Again, I make no bones. A lot of people from Silk and Steel, I've got no use for. They're a bunch of role players. They try to dictate the terms of what gore should be, and they have no authority over it. In fact, most of them do not live successful lives. Most of them do not even live openly. So why would I listen to them when they're not able to be open as far as who they are, what they are, and what they're doing in the general public? Again, bunch of online nonsense. I mock those who proclaim that they invented being Gorean and are the founders of Gore, so I must not be Gorean. Again, anyone that comes to me and says, Gore originated with us, or we founded it, or we developed the philosophies that everybody follows, or we're the forefathers, blah, 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 I've got no use for them. You can take it right from the books, basically, and anyone that can read the books, that's enough to be able to show, and to be able to show the way, to be able to lay out what the philosophies are, to be able to lay out what the lifestyle is. And that's what you need to go by, not by what other people think it is, or what their image or perception of it is. You need to come up with your own. That is part of being Gorean. Okay, I do not speak or understand Khazar, so I must not be Gorean. Again, Khazar is a role-playing thing that basically started in Western Canada in the Northwest United States. Don't understand it. Don't have no clue about it. And you don't need to know that or to talk that in order to be Gorean. I do not use a Roman, Greek, or Viking name, so but use my actual name, so that proves that I must not be Gorean. Again, I don't need to have any kind of a Roman, Viking, or name. I need to have the name that was given to me from birth. I'm quite happy with that. I was born with that, I will die with that. That's all I really care about. Okay, I do not hail from Ayr or Port Carr or any other fictional city mentioned in the Gore books to prove my Goreanness, so I must not be Gorean. Again, you'll find with a lot of online role players is that they say they come from Ayr, or they come from Thentis, or they come from Port Carr, or wherever, and that somehow proves how much, how much more Gorean they are. Guys, they're fictional places in a book. You didn't come from there. You might like those places based on what the books are, but it doesn't prove that you're Gorean at all. Kind of thing. I believe that a man is limited by the sword of others, literally, with fists if necessary, not by keyboard warriors hiding behind a screen name, using the computer to fight their battles, so I must not be Gorean. Again, with me, it's been well known that I've had several people over the years have threatened my life. Some people say, they're going to put me in the hospital, cripple me, a whole bunch of nonsense. I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself. If anyone's going to utter those kind of threats, basically all I want them to do, you better be able to back that up. You keep shooting off your mouth, you better be able to back it up. Unfortunately, none of them that I've gone to see or have tried to meet ever showed up. They're great keyboard warriors and everything else, but when you actually decide, hey, let's see if you'll back it up, let's meet, they never show up. So don't pay too much attention to that. I refuse to take sides in the ongoing battle of wills and wits between the two major Gorean camps of idiot thinking, so I must not be Gorean. Again, one of the things that there are basically two camps within the online groups. You have those that were part of the old Silk and Steel that are your pacifists, and they center around Malkinius, Nair, Krell, Baraver. And then you had the other group, which is basically more of the antagonists and the instigators, which was Prey, Dragon, Jorvik was in there, Marauder was in there, a couple of others that I can't even remember right now. Most of them pretty well gone by the wayside on both sides. But yeah, they were always they were taking shots at each other and trying to position themselves that they were the voice of Gore. And the odd time they tried bringing it into the Gorean gathering place, and I kept telling them, take that stuff other way. It has no place here, don't want to hear about it. And so I became the enemy of basically both sides, which was quite comical. Okay. I have openly admonished several of the self-proclaimed leaders of Gore by not following my rules of engaging it in the Gorean gathering place, banning a couple of people and correcting and admonishing others openly, so I must not be Gorean. Again, if you listen to Nair, she'll tell everybody that she's a leader of Gore. She's not. She's just an online role player that hardly has met anybody, has never been to a Gorean gathering, and her whole focus is basically playing online and using her profile in order to bash other people. That's basically her life. She's a miserable, single, old woman that is bitter, that is over emotional, and is extremely unstable. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to her, because she's insignificant. She doesn't have anything to do with Gore at all. I give my actual location of residence, have many photos of myself, use my proper age and relationship status, and use my real name, so I must not be Gorean. Again, one of the ethos of Gore is having integrity, telling the truth, being honest, and being open. Most of these people, they don't use their name, they don't even use the province or the state that they live in, they don't give their proper age, and a lot of them, they don't even mention the fact that they're married. They're going around chasing all these, hot chicks online kind of thing, but they're basically cheating on their wives, or they're cheating on their husbands. How honorable is that? Not very honorable at all, but it happens a lot within the online Gorean community. Okay, that I have spoken out against homophobic. Sorry, just one sec. That I will speak out against homophobic, anti-cake, and general idiot thinking that seems to resonate in some Gorean circles, so I must not be Gorean. Again, there's a big swing, a big push a couple of years ago, the fact that, you cannot be gay and be Gorean, and I always have to bring up the fact that, sorry guys, but it is mentioned in the books. And then you have people like Malkinius that come back and say, well, there was never any positive things, within the homophobes or whatever. And sorry guys, here's some quotes from the books that say otherwise. And they get all spun out of joint about that because that doesn't fit in their image of gore, which basically is that they're homophobic. Plain and simple. It is mentioned in the books, not that big of a deal. Not for me, but you gotta be honest, it is mentioned in the books. Okay, my philosophical characteristics are Gorean in nature with special emphasis given to the masculine femininity of each individual, so I must not be Gorean. Again, you have a lot of guys online, Silk and Steel and Second Life and those kind of places, that the guys are not real men. They're pussy whipped, they're soft, most of them are completely out of shape, they don't take care of themselves. And they can't stand on both legs. The women wear the pants in the family, and it's embarrassing sometimes how women are able to boss them around and they just kneel right underneath in order to try to get some kind of approval. Same thing holds true for women. Women, be ladies. You don't need to be a friggin' butch. You're not one of the guys. Be feminine. Let that come out, whether it be through your mannerisms, through how you dress, how you present yourself, makeup, those kind of things, the activities that you're involved in. Those are all beautiful things. Those are not things you should be ashamed of. And don't let anyone try to shame you, saying that you shouldn't be doing those things. If you enjoy it and it makes you feminine and it makes you feel like a lady, do them. It's that simple. Okay. I encourage and enjoy having a slave perform slave positions, slave dances, wear slave silks from time to time, enjoy sleeping at the floor by my feet, and is simply my property, so I must not be Gorean. Again, I've had several women over the years that enjoy sleeping on the floor. It puts them in that mindset. Mind you, if I want to cuddle with them or whatever, I just have to snap my fingers and they're up on the bed. And I'm going to cuddle, fuck them, do whatever. But if they want to sleep on the floor, I don't have any issue with those kind of things. The same thing as slave silks, to me they're beautiful. If a girl makes her own and she's proud of them and she wears them in a way that makes her look positive, that she's comfortable, that she has pride in her body, what she looks like, and that she knows how proud I am, that is a Gorean virtue. Same thing with dance. Over the years, I've had several girls that I've enrolled in the belly dance scene, different forms of dance to be able to boost their ego, to give them some physical activity, to boost their confidence in themselves. There's nothing more beautiful than when you have a slave that is confident in who she is and what she's able to give and what she's able to bring to the table. A very beautiful thing. I enjoy many rituals and formal observations, including physical, mental, demonstrative, and visual participation. I enjoy numerous presentation rituals, public readings, and other public presentations based on service, positions, and various forms of dance and postures, so I must not be Gorean. And I'm a simple guy, but there are some things that I enjoy. I enjoy when I go to bed that the girl is already prepared and she's on the bed naked in the nadu position. I enjoy that. I enjoy a girl basically that when I get home, is that phone's acting up here. I enjoy that when I get home, the fact that a girl is excited to be able to see me, that she welcome home, master. I enjoyed it when we were out at a restaurant. Master, may I pour your drink? If simple things. Master, may I go to the washroom? Master, may I eat? Does that put her down at all? No. in a master-slave relationship, it just enforces and reinforces who we are as individuals. I am the master, she is the slave. All positive things. Towel service, another beautiful thing. I love showering with my girls. It's just an intimate time together, and then afterwards her getting out before me and holding the towel up. A simple thing, but she's kneeling on the floor holding the towel up to me. But it just again reinforces what she is to me and what I am to her. All positive things. So anyhow, those are just some online thinking things that I've always been amused at with the online Gorean community, is the fact that they're always big and trying to run everyone else down, and those are just some of the ones that I found humorous, and I hope that you did too. Well, hopefully have a great day. It's going to be a long weekend here in Canada. For most of the country, we're celebrating Family Day on Monday, so have a great long weekend.